Hi there, I hope you are doing great and have enjoyed a great summer so far. I just want to provide my update as we roll into the final month of summer and let you know what we're seeing in the market in my longer form video. If you've read my quick market minute, you understand we are in a case of essentially bad news, good news. Let's get the bad news out of the way. The bad news is prices have come way down from their peak in the spring of February and March. Saving except for very unique properties, but on most cases, most homes are going to be well off those highs. So what you're seeing is a couple reasons why this has occurred. Obviously, interest rates are going to be factoring into buyers' decisions about whether to hold off on purchases, or obviously it's going to affect their qualification, have to spend less money if they're paying much more interest. It's also a case where sellers who are simply in a case where they need to offload their property because they're worried about prices dropping have flooded the market, in fact, causing a very strong rebalancing of supply and demand. So we are currently sitting at about 20% more listings than we typically have at this time of year. So there's a lot of listings available for sale, and we are well down on actual sales. So if we look at typically for this time of year, if we look at 2020 and 2021, in those 2 years, we were seeing about 70% of houses selling through August. Right now, we're sitting at about 9% of homes are selling. So that tells you that only about 1 in every 10 homes are actually selling right now, which means if you're a seller, you need to be pricing your home very well. This is simply not the time to test the market unless, like I said, you have something very unique. Those homes are still doing well. But if you've got a regular home, well-maintained home, you need to be pricing it very strongly. Otherwise, it will simply just collect days on market. Buyers will issue it because there are so many available options to them, and a lot of those options are going to be priced very strongly. Buyers are being pickier than ever, as they have a right to be when there's this much of a supply and demand rebalancing. All right, so the bad news is out of the way. Short take on that. Like I said, prices are well off the highs. If you need to sell in the next 2-3 months, I'd recommend sitting down with me and I could go over exactly what your home is worth now so you can see, and then you can decide whether or not this might be the time to sell based on those numbers. All right, like I said, bad news out of the way. Let's get to the good news. The good news is that there are 2 measures when it comes to selling homes. Prices are a lagging measure. That is the last thing that's affected. First is showings and offers. Then we also see days on market start to drop, sales versus active listings. Prices are the last thing to be affected. And what we're seeing is the very early tidal wave is starting to form way out in the ocean. It's not a tsunami yet, but it always will be. We are starting to see showings coming up, offers coming up. Now, what does that mean? That means buyers are becoming active again. Where we have seen those numbers dropping significantly, if offers are up and showings are up, it means there's more buyers coming out into the market and they're making offers more than they were last month. That is the first indicator of a market upswing, okay? And it's not gonna happen tomorrow, but it is a positive sign if you are a seller and you need to sell this year. You may just want to hold off a little bit, not by much. We usually see a bit of an increase in pricing through the end of August all the way until about November. So keep that in mind if you're a seller. Prices are starting to come up. They will be coming up shortly, judging by the data and typically what we see when those trend line indicators start to go up. Now, also, good news is for buyers. Even though interest rates are up, prices are well off the highs. And like I just mentioned previously, if we see those ripples in the market where buyers are coming out more and offers coming up more, we know that prices are going to be coming up soon too. So you don't want to be hit with a double whammy of a high mortgage in the form of a purchase price and a high interest rate. So the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, I think are probably going to be the best time to buy a home that's existed in the last 2-3 years. I would really look to capitalize on these moments if you're in a position where you can afford to buy a home. So I hope that was helpful for you. Sellers, listen, hang on. If you're not in a position where you must sell this week, I would just wait a little bit. Have me come over, have me evaluate your home and tell you what I think it's going to be worth now in today's market. That way, with accurate numbers, you can decide whether or not it's the time to sell or if you want to wait till maybe spring of next year. For buyers, my message is very clear, just like it was in March of 2020. Do not delay. These dips in the market do not last. Historically, the market always goes in a 45-degree angle up. These dips are rare. They're short-lived. Capitalize on them. If you want, sit down with me. I will show you how to do that. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the summer, and we'll check in again around Labor Day. Take care.